Hey race fans, back in the shop here real quick Sunday before I head to church. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on what's going with the Chevy II. There's the rest of the shop we're going to let go, but I just want to give you a little update here. Last video I showed you some of the stuff that I had to repair on my Chevy II. I'm going to show you what I got done, and the key here is a couple products I use when I'm doing this stuff. So here goes nothing. There she is. Both sides all patched up. As you can see, I got the seams replaced. It was rusted out way up in here, so we pulled all this stuff out. The cowl was rotted to here. And fortunately, I saved pieces out of the other cowl. And this piece here was good in the other cowl, but the top is rotted off, so I had to take another piece out of that cowl to form this one. And then I changed it up into the A-pillar this far. I think when I replace the roof skin next winter, I'll probably replace this part, but this is what I got going on right here. Took me about, I got a little TLC to do yet, but she's all roughed in. You can see my weld beads in here. I didn't grind them out. They'll get seam sealed over, so they won't show. And then I had a little bit of a step here that I didn't want to grind that too much. What I didn't show you, and I should have, is being that this bar is putting force on the firewall here, there's a big angle bracket welded inside the car. And what I did is I made a piece that goes back into the inner cowl, and I put a big piece of 1/8" by 2" plate in there and welded this piece into that to add some more strength here for this. So, and it was rotted down to here, so I replaced this. The car originally has a seam in it like this, and they had cut all that stuff out and welded a piece of galvanized over the top of it. Made it a mess. Of course, then down here in the bottom of the A-pillar, all that was gone, so I had to rebuild that. I got a little bit more, a little TLC to do there yet, but we're getting close. I wanted to get this video recorded before the week started, and I didn't get any chance. So on the other side, it was the same thing. Cowl was rotted out a little bit farther, but we got all that. Like I say, getting this stuff in here. And how I did this, as I talked about door margins, this is important right here. So what I did is I got this piece tacked in place on this end, and then I rehung the door so I could make this line fit the door and this point run into the corner of the door where it needed to, as close as I can. Like, this radius wasn't perfect, but it wasn't perfect on the original car either. So, but this margin here looks real good when I'm all done. So there was no rust down in the bottom down here, which is good. So she's all replaced. Like I say, little TLC. I still have to put the fender mount up here, but you know, I wanted to get all the boogers ground off and everything before I mounted that piece. And then I've got this stuff's all close enough, honestly, for filler. It ain't perfect, but it's good enough for this car. Typically when I'm doing something like this, like if I'm putting a quarter panel, repairing a quarter panel like I have to on the Vega, I'll TIG weld it all so you can hammer it around. If you MIG weld this stuff and try to beat it with a hammer, it'll crack. So this stuff here didn't need any hammer and dolly work, so I just MIG welded it all. Remember that. If you don't have to beat on it, you can MIG weld it, but if you got to beat on it, you should TIG weld it. Okay, coming to the highlight of the show here. Two things I use when I'm doing this. When I get it all tore apart, I spray Rust-Oleum rust reformer or some sort of rust reformer anywhere I can get it in there. You know, because the inside of the cowl and down the front A-pillar legs, like down inside of here where the air flows, all that stuff in there had a light surface rust on it. So I cleaned it the best I could, you know, getting my hand through that little hole. Then I spray rust reformer down in there. You don't want it to rust out again. You know, the factories just welded them together to send them because they plan on a car lasting 5 years and then you buying a new one. So this is a 63, so imagine how long it lasts. But you'll run into this kind of stuff when you do hot rods. You know, you're gonna find something where somebody packed it full of Bondo or did something dumb, and you want to fix it right because you do not want to do it twice. Okay, so I get all that done, and then I have all these pieces here, my brand new pieces that I have to weld together. And if you can see right here, there's a little bit of a gold color in here. That's Weld-through primer, and this is what I use there. U-POL Weld number 2. This is a copper based primer, copper rich, and what that does is protect the metal, and it has good conductivity. So like when I put these plug welds in here, it's on the inside of there, it plug welds really well. Now there is a zinc based Weld-through primer too, but I don't like it because it doesn't conduct electricity as well. So when I'm doing this stuff, anywhere I'm going to weld, I've got that primer on there. And you can see like right here where it's burned away a little bit, but that copper in that primer gets in there and it still holds it on the inside. You want to try to protect that as much as you can. Now on the inside, when I'm done, 3M makes a wax spray that you spray down in the corners, your cracks and stuff like that to stop rust. I'll stick that with that wand in here and try to spray as much in there to stop, so this just doesn't happen up here again. This is a typical Florida car. They rust from the top down, and the northern cars rust from the bottom up. So that's why we're seeing this kind of damage to this car. But other than that, like I say, and I said before, I'm fixing from here out. Next year I'm going to back half this thing and make it super nice, make it look like Jumpin' Jack Flash. So yeah, my next step's going to be replacing this mess in here. I think I showed you that. I've got, like back here, I've got a new dashboard. I'm going to repair that, modify it a little bit so that it'll sort of be race car-y. So remount the seats, fix the dash. Steering column was messed up, so I'm working on all that. Still waiting on the springs to show up for the front end, but I can get some of this other stuff done. That's what I'm going to work on. That's it for this video. I just wanted to share that. Rust reformer where you're not welded, because you can't weld through that stuff. Don't do that. If you got it sprayed on somewhere and you have to weld, grind that off because it will not weld. And then the U-POL. And I get this stuff off of the Amazon, so out there in the big jungle, I get the U-POL stuff. And there's Auto Body Paint Supply, they sell this stuff too, so I'm sure there's other places, but that's just where I get it. It gets shipped to my door. Should I buy from Amazon? No, I should support local, but I live in a little town and there's nothing like this here, so. Okay, next step. Start cleaning parts and pieces, because I made a mess doing this. This was a day project just cleaning up. So here in the back room, Cigar City garage. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.